So we've got some stock here. I'm going to do frame out my little openings to access the wheel wells. I put these two slightly over 1.75 inches. The thickness of the 2x2, which is 1.5 inches, plus a 1/4 inch plywood. Plus a little bit extra for the thickness of the canvas. I'm just going to resaw them here to about a 1/4 inch. Maybe a little tiny bit thicker. And that's what I'm doing right now. Stinks of ponderosa pine. Gross like yellow cedar. Oh yeah, I also got a new apron. A vast improvement. So this is my old one, which I had for 1 year and 4 months. And now it's the new one. So we're going to frame this opening. We need to hire a cameraman. So that's 9 9/16. I'm going to cut my first pieces using the miter gauge for the square cuts. And then for the exterior frame, I'm going to miter it. So for the mitered frame, I'm going to use this little jig. I don't need to switch the sides. I can just flip my piece. It'll be fine for this little frame that I'm doing. So we'll also back up the bottom and the back to prevent blowout. And then I can also clamp a little block here. My longest piece is about 18 or 19 inches at the tip. So I can clamp a little stop there and make repeated cuts. So that is what I'm going to do next. A little bit long. Okay, so that fits pretty good. So this little one is framed in just about to fit the other side. The lighting's not that great over here. So I'm just going to frame this one up. And then we're going to cut some miters. A little bit friggin' longer. A little shorter. Well, isn't that great? What skills I have. Well, that's what $130 Canadian before tax of select pine looks like from Big Orange Box Store. I want this to be 16 inches from short point to short point. So I took my tape measure, put on the 16, and I made a little mark. So now if I just line up my my short points. Make sure these little ends are flush. And that should give me what I need. So I made a little block. It's basically just a little notch. So I can set it. Oops. So I'll do that a little bit better. And I can just use this to mark my little reveal. Normally you can use a combination square. This is kind of small. The blade of the combination square would probably be bumping into everything. So just made a quick little jig. It's not completely necessary, but sometimes it's good to have a visual reference. So these ones I'm just going to put on with yellow glue, even though we're going over other yellow glue. I did a test. It got reasonable adhesion for these small trim pieces, but most of the other framing pieces I'll probably use polyurethane, PL, construction adhesive. Oh, that is annoying. So I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I go a little ape crazy. The glue. I will show you why. Because I don't have very much meat to hit here. I really want it to sloppily go everywhere. And I'm going to actually wipe it with a wet rag, which I normally actually don't recommend if you're doing a stain.
Terrifying territories I can't take it.
So I just got to knock the corner off the inside of this piece. And it's kind of long and thin. So I quickly set up a little stop, and then I just put another extra stick to keep a little bit of the sideways pressure. It's kind of a down and dirty, quick little fix. Because I have a fixture for doing this, but I don't really want to move that big cabinet off my bench right now. So this, hopefully, will do the trick. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but well, fail number one. Let's try that one again. It's a little bit better. Oh, I haven't even taken one plane stroke yet. That clamp didn't fall on the floor. This is kind of a really budget way to do this, but should work. It's kind of an awkward little piece. The amount of time it actually has taken to set up this little down and dirty. Could have probably set up the router table. But anytime I get to use a hand plane, it's a good time. It's reminiscent of my older videos where just let the camera run 30 minutes and not be on the screen half the time, or stand right in front of it with my back to the camera. So what we need to do okay, let's do a little test fit. A little bit shorter. Okay, that'll work, that'll work, that'll work. All right. So these three pieces are going to go on, and I'll just have a small filler piece fill in here, and this I'll slip in after the fact, because this end can be finished, at least this part of it, because the skin is on, but on that side the skin isn't, and I want to put the skin on first before any of the trim pieces, because I want wood to wood contact. If I have some of the trim pieces on already, they're really going to get in the way. I'll have to try to cut around them, and then it would just cause a lot of problems. So we're going to avoid that and do them after the skins are all on, which should be tomorrow. I'm hoping to get the back and the very front of my bed area, and then let that dry overnight, and then the next day, which will be Monday, I should be able to do the sides. Okay, I also changed the hose. I'm gonna have to do a voiceover of the other segment I filmed because it was sitting there. It's only these Pazload guns. See, I don't know, the fittings must be microscopically smaller, because our Senkos and everything else are fine. These Pazloads, they don't like half of the fittings. Oh. So that should be good. So there, have our little piece, can slip out and in after. This piece has actually ended up being a little bit thicker. Don't know why. I might take a hand plane and flush that up a little bit. Not really gonna see it. So yeah, fill these holes. So next thing I gotta do, don't mind this pile of material up here. I gotta clean up all this crap. And I have some, Gotta clean this edge up, and I have some leftover treated frame material. So I'm gonna actually fill this little strip in, and when I do my trim, it can be flush, and then I actually have aluminum angle to go around all the bottom. So I'm about to flip my camper over, or flip it back over. I'm just gonna clean up some of this crap here. All this stuff I'd stashed on the roof, they're all offcuts that I'll probably be using a fair bit of it. So for now, I'm just gonna blow off all this crap. I just routed this piece up here and made a bit of a mess. We'll blow it off. A friend of mine's coming by. We're gonna clean that shit up. A friend of mine is coming by, and we're gonna flip this thing over, and then I want to get the front and the back side done so I can dry overnight, and then I'll do the sides tomorrow. But I have a lot of prep work to do. So that's what's happening now. Well, she's right side up again. I had my coworker Dan come by, help me flip it over. It took like 3 minutes. It's a little easier with 2 people, but it wasn't too bad. So I've just done a little tiny bit more body work. I'm probably gonna put this skin on tonight, maybe the back end. It's getting kind of late. I got a couple things to do. But right now I'm knocking this corner off. This part I have to do by hand with a router. Because you can see, actually, hang on. If you can see that, it comes out square, and I've got to try to match the curve, or at least close to it, because my roof's going to come off. My roof's going to come off, and then this will be built up. So even if it's a little overcut, more of an angle, it will be fine. Anyway. So yeah, I've just got to knock that off. I did this one with the router. Just these little spots. These little spots, the bearing couldn't get in tight enough. So I'm going to do that by hand with a block plane. I don't really like planing plywood. So this is my 3rd best block plane. We're going to use a belt sander to clear this curve. It's a little unwieldy. So I'm just going to knock down a couple of the high spots with my block plane, and then just use a random orbit sander with some 80 grit. Not too much to do. Piece of canvas, and then I think it's getting a bit late, but I think I will start spreading the glue. Once you start spreading the glue, it's go time. There's no turning back. So I'd like to get this on. I kind of wanted to do this side and the other side, so I can do both or the other end, so I can do the sides tomorrow, but it's probably going to be a 3-day process, realistically. So my iron should be hot. Let's get smoothing out these wrinkles. I just rolled and pressed this piece on the front. So far it seems to have pretty good adhesion, with no major issues that I can see. I'm going to keep checking it for 15 or 20 minutes and make sure there's no bubbly spots. And I will roll over the top. So far it seems pretty good. It's not the hugest section. The back and these sides are going to be a lot more difficult, but so far, so good. All right, I've just rolled over this front piece of canvas. So far, there's been no problems that have arisen that I can see. So hopefully, that statement ends up being true when I wake up tomorrow. Well, this was the most successful piece of poor man's fiberglass I've put on thus far. That piece actually went on pretty well as well. So I was going to finish prepping this and get this one on tonight, but that probably won't be happening until tomorrow. It's a bit late. It's on site. Didn't get home till a little later than I thought today. And I'd like to get this video edited and uploaded for tomorrow, which will be Truckcamper Tuesdays. I'm gonna try to get out one video a week. So I'll be following along the rest of my build. Just coming along quite nicely. I have maybe some different plans for the roof material. I was gonna do the same poor man's fiberglass, but I might do a one-piece aluminum roof. It may be cost prohibitive. I've got to look into it a little bit, but it'll probably be a vastly superior roof material. I've also been talking with a few people from the van life community. I'm probably going to volunteer some labor and help them out with a few of their builds, because when I'm done this camper, I would like to do a van build and maybe multiple builds. And also I'm thinking of designing a modular system, like a pull-out bed slat system or like a small kitchen section. You know, kind of plug and play elements that can go, someone starting a van build. If you standardize it, you can probably keep it reasonably affordable. So that's something I'm thinking about designing and doing. There's a few other, places that are gotten into van building or doing build outs full time. So something I'm interested in. I'm looking into it. Can help a few people out along the way. So it sounds like a win-win right now. So I'm actually just going to trim the excess off this piece, reassemble the shop somewhat for work tomorrow, and hopefully get this video edited. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you got questions, comments, leave them down below. If you liked this video, hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe.